So today's day 100. Yay! Um, what started out as a personal development and visibility challenge has turned into something much more than I could have ever expected. I definitely didn't expect a one of my videos to go viral. I definitely didn't expect to get over 1,000 followers. So I thank everyone for being here. I thank you for being here. And today I want to talk about because after showing up here for 100 days in a row talking to this camera, have noticed a lot of things, some patterns. That's like the strategist in me coming out. I've noticed patterns about myself, patterns about you, patterns about other women and men that have commented on these videos. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about three of the biggest patterns that I've noticed. And I want to talk about what caused me to kind of notice these kind of patterns. Like I said, I'm a strategist in my 9 to 5, in the business that I'm building. So I definitely have a gift of noticing patterns. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. So I want to thank you if you've been here for all 100 days. Thank you. I want to say thank you to if you caught me somewhere in the middle. Thank you. And if somehow this is your first time here, I want to thank you for being here for the first time today. Go ahead and like the video right now. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe right now. So before I get into the three patterns that I noticed, I really want to ask you, because I know when people do lives, they ask people where they're from. While you can share with me where you're from, put where you're from in the chat. I honestly want to know how you're feeling today. Let me know down in the chat how you're feeling. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling calm? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling worn out? Are you feeling disconnected? Are you feeling relaxed? Let me know how you're feeling down in the chat. Today I don't drink alcohol, but this is actually strawberry rosé tea from one of my favorite tea places. They have a custom tea blend. So I'm drinking strawberry rosé tea as a little bit of a celebration for day 100, celebrating you for being here, for joining me on this 100-day journey, and thanking myself for making for making it through. So, cheers to us with a little bit of tea. Let me see what you all are saying in the chat down here. Okay, feeling good, feeling wonderful. Good, good. The reason why I wanted to ask you how you're doing today, and even if you're watching this on the replay, drop down in the chat and let me know how you're doing because I honestly feel like that question isn't asked genuinely enough, like really asking people how are they feeling, people, oh, how you doing today? How you doing today? And most people say, oh, I'm okay, I'm good, whatever. But really asking people how they're feeling, I don't think that that's, asked enough. So let's go ahead and get into the observations that I have noticed over this 100-day journey. So the first observation that I have noticed are people are desperate for language about how they are feeling. And I noticed this particularly based on my viral video. That video went viral just based on my own analysis and understanding because people really felt something in that video. They felt what they were feeling was being articulated, it was given language. I phrased it as corporate brain rot, and then I shared what that meant, and I shared how I came to that conclusion, my experience with corporate brain rot. how I ultimately was able to get out of that kind of mindset, get clear. But people really, it's hard to change or to pivot or to move in another direction when you really don't have language for how you're feeling. And I knew this firsthand when I went through my personal burnout experience, because when I was going through everything that I was going through, the weight gain, the pain in my bodies, the anxiousness, all the things that I've shared over this 100-day journey when I was in my corporate leadership career, when I was feeling that way and I went to my therapist to talk to her about it, I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know what it was. All I could say inside, all I could tell her was like, something feels off. Something feels off. I don't know what this is, but something feels off. And people said over and over and over in the comments on that video and other videos too, just about their experiences, how they were feeling in their careers, in their jobs, just like they were craving language. And even more than language, I feel like people wanted they wanted to they saw that someone else was feeling what they had been feeling and naming it and saying it, which made them feel seen as well. And when you're going through things, we're all humans. We don't want to feel like we're out here by ourselves or no one gets what we're going through. So I think that was a real light to people to see someone articulate it in the way that I had articulated it, to allow other people to feel seen and to let people know like what they're feeling is not normal, what they're feeling is real, and clearly other people. I think as I record this video today, that video has like 43,000 views, and the views keep coming in and comments continue to still come in today. I also think when I talked about like misalignment and what misalignment meant to me, I think that was some language that people needed to hear as well. Because again, sometimes you just don't know what you're feeling. Like I think now burnout has become such a popular word that people kind of put everything under that burnout umbrella, but sometimes that's just not what it is. For me, I had to go through that. I saw a mental health professional, a therapist, and psychiatrist, all the people, and that's what they said I had. And I think, although burnout isn't a medical diagnosis, this is under that. But for me, even more deeply, I was in a deep state of misalignment because I had just gotten to a place where the life I had built for myself just did not fit anymore. And again, when I said the word misalignment, I think people connected with that and understood that is something as well, like outside of the burnout, outside of the exhaustion, outside of the tiredness, the misalignment is a factor as well when you're in spaces, jobs, careers, environments that are misaligned, just meaning that however you desire to live and work, which I have a very clear vision, I work very hard on making my vision very clear. And when you're not moving, when you're not doing work that is moving you towards that, you're not making an impact, adding value, like all of the things that could be in a deep state of misalignment, not using your skills, your gifts, your education, whatever that is, in the way that you desire to use it, that can be misalignment. I also think ease, when I talk about ease, because I think sometimes when people hear the word ease, they think easy, but that's not what I talk about when I'm talking about ease or easeful. Because, of course, if you're a woman watching my videos, you identify as ambitious, high achieving, responsible, capable. So you're not necessarily looking for easy. So the word that I have adopted is ease. And that does not mean easy or without effort. It just means moving in flow with intention and alignment. And again, language. So that was one of the big things that I observed over this 100 days is that people are really craving language for what they're experiencing. And I know that to be true because when I first started going through this, I didn't have the language either. Let me know down in the comments, have y'all ever had somebody explain something to you in a way that you've been feeling, but maybe you didn't have the words for it before? Has that ever happened to you? Let me know down in the comments. That strawberry rosé tea is like so delicious. Before I get into the next observation, just gonna see what's going on in the chat. If you're coming into the live, go ahead and like this video while you're here. Go ahead and like this video if you're watching. Okay, now let's get into my second observation. My second observation, again, just based on the comments, like I really appreciate all of the comments. I mean, men and women have been commenting. Men and women watch my videos, but of course, I talk to women from me, a woman from a woman's lived experience. But I have had several men that have commented, just saying that my videos have really resonated with them as well. But my second observation is a lot of women are moving through lives that don't really fit them anymore. That was definitely an observation. They Many women are moving through their lives and the lives that they're currently living don't fit them anymore. And I mean, what I mean by that is that like your life may not necessarily be falling apart or might not be in a bunch of chaos, but you're feeling some disconnection. You're feeling some disconnections, but you're going through your normal routines, you're getting things done because that's what you do. You get things done, you execute on things. You're handling life, you're doing the things, but somewhere something is off, something is feeling disconnected. Maybe you're starting to feel it, maybe you already feel it, but you're still continuing to move through your life, this life that doesn't fit you anymore. And I noticed this over and over and over again in the comments. You got a good job, you're in a good career, you probably make good money, excuse me, but something in your job, your career, your life just does not fit you anymore. And again, I can see these patterns because that's the strategist in me. And because this was a part of my lived experience as well. I stayed in my corporate leadership job. I was in the role for just right under 5 years. And I probably was in a full blown burnout, what my therapist told me for 2 full years. And just continuing to try to fit myself in this career, in this job, where everything going on around me was giving me signal after signal after signal after sign after sign after sign, but I was not paying attention to it until ultimately my body just told told me, "Girl, we got to get out of here." And that's the pattern that I'm seeing women constantly saying in the comments that, they can relate to what I was going through. They can resonate with what I'm going through, sharing their experiences in the comments. And they're in these lives that continue to move through, to work through these lives that don't fit them anymore. So I want to ask you, if you're watching, have you ever felt this before? Have you ever felt like your life is technically working, technically, but something internal just feels off or misaligned, or you're feeling disconnected. Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt like that before. Check the comments here. Okay. And I also want you to know too, if you're a woman that's been watching any of my videos on this 100-day journey, I am going to invite you to something that I'm going to be holding space off of YouTube for the women who have been watching over these last 100 days, or if you're just finding me today and any of the videos that you've watched have moved something in you, made you think about things differently, you feel like you can resonate with anything, I'm going to be holding space off of YouTube in a few days. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later, but just stay tuned for sure. And I'm also going to drop the link down in the chat. So after the live on the replay, the link will still be down in the chat for that invitation. All right. Observation number 3. People, and I say people because again, although I talk to women, I speak to women, men have been commenting. So my third observation is people are carrying a lot of exhaustion that doesn't look like dramatic, that doesn't look like, oh, my life is falling apart. So many of us are just holding on to so much exhaustion. And like I said, it doesn't look dramatic from the outside. We're going to work, we're getting up in the morning, we're doing our things, we're taking care of our responsibilities. I've seen again the comments. The comments have showed me these patterns. Like your life can technically be okay. Again, you're getting up in the morning, you're going to work, you're logging in, you're taking care of your responsibilities, you're going to the grocery store, you're doing what you have to do, but technically something is off. It's like that level of exhaustion that normal rest just doesn't fix. And I think a lot of women in particularly have just gotten used to just moving in this way. Like it's just become normal, like just holding on to that level of exhaustion, moving through life in those continuous patterns, not to question anything, the corporate brain rot. A lot of women have just gotten so used to operating that way. And I think that's why so many people resonated with these videos too, because again, while I speak to women, the men and the women have been telling me that they are just constantly operating in this exhaustion that isn't like isn't like again dramatic. Like you're still moving through life doing what you need to do, but there's that exhaustion, that deep exhaustion there that just isn't going away. And I don't have, I'm not here to give people any magical answers. I'm just sharing my story, my experience, sharing how I was able to get out of that. But I think a lot of people just felt very seen in me sharing my experiences, having a corporate healthcare leadership role, 6 figures, bonuses, all of the things, showing up, excelling, exceeding, building business, leading teams, all of the things, and it just not being sustainable. Like you're giving all of yourself to these companies, to these corporations, and we're forgetting to take care of ourselves while we're there. And like I've said in other videos, I'm not here to corporate bash. You guys know, you've been watching, I'm still navigating a traditional 9 to 5 while I build a business. I'm just looking at that landscape and that system just very differently. I'm in a place now where I always tell my friends, I've stepped outside of the matrix, so my eyes are wide open and I can see definitely what's going on, and I'm maneuvering that space very strategically until I can get to a place in my business where that can ultimately sustain me fully. And one thing, let's see what I have my notes here. And even though like I got all of these observations from people sharing their experiences with me in the comments or just commenting about how things resonated with them. I also know that there's many people that just watch the videos quietly, you know, still thinking about things, having things resonate with them, and that's okay too. But what I want to say as I close out this 100-day journey is that awareness, saying like, this is me, this is the language that I needed, I'm experiencing this too, I'm going through this right now too. Like, all of that is awareness. And awareness is just the beginning. Of course, we have to be aware of what we're going through, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing before we can actually, do anything about it. But I just want to bring that to the forefront that awareness is only the beginning, because you can resonate with every video, you can see the patterns in yourself, you can see the patterns in others, and you can feel seen by the stories that I'm sharing as well. But if you aren't, if you don't put in any action, if you don't do the work, you're just going to stay in awareness and in that place of exhaustion, overwork, corporate brain rot. You're just going to stay there. Awareness is only the beginning. But eventually, if you want to shift out of that, you have to be intentional and you have to get clear on what your desires are and the way you want to work and live. And you have to put in the work. Choosing yourself, taking care of yourself, none of that stuff is easy. We know it's not easy or everyone would be doing it. But I'm a living witness that it is worth it. It is definitely worth it. And when you're in a space of where you want to redesign your life, redesign the way you work and live, it requires effort, it requires work, and it requires self devotion. Like I said in yesterday's video for day 99, me showing up here 100 days in a row, motivation was been gone, girl. Motivation been gone. And consistency, I'm a consistent person generally, I'm a focused person generally, but consistency can just get blah sometimes. But the thing that pushed me through to this 100-day journey is being devoted to myself, being devoted to showing up in the way that I said I would show up, continuing to redesign my life, showing other women that that's possible. So you have to get to a place where you are so devoted to yourself and making that change, because you can stay stuck in awareness and continue to go through the same patterns, the overworking, the exhaustion, the it's almost like continuing to stay in a state of complaining or knowing that something has to change, but not taking the steps needed to actually make that change. And you have to make that change through decision making, making intentional decisions, reflecting over your life with how you got there, how you got here, how you got to the place that you're at, and vision. It comes through vision, getting really clear on how you want to work and live moving forward. And then taking action, taking aligned action, small actions, not to, disrupt your life, flip your whole life upside down overnight, but just taking those small, intentional, aligned actions. And that's why I'm inviting you, the woman who has been watching this video, the woman who these videos have resonated with. I'm inviting you to a space outside of YouTube. I'm calling it the Check In Live. And I'm going to be holding space for you. This isn't a workshop, it's not a training, it's not another video. I want to create a space where you can pause, where you can check in with yourself. It's going to be live with other women who are in the same place. I'm going to be there facilitating a curated space to pause, check in with yourself. And if that feels aligned for you, I'm going to put the link down in the comments and I'll pin it. And I want you to join me. It's going to be Tuesday evening. And once you once you click the link, it'll give you more information. It's going to be this Tuesday. I think I have it for 6:30 Eastern. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So let me go ahead and drop that link down in the comments right now. Let me get that. I'm so upset that I could not figure out how to turn this video around. I'm gonna have to, this is my first time going live, girl, so we're gonna have to figure it out next time. All right, I'm gonna put the link here in the chat for, uh-oh, is it gonna let me? Oh, hold on. It says that I have a word count. Okay. I'm gonna also, after I get off the live, I'm gonna save this so it'll be like a regular video. And I'll also put this link for the check-in live down in the description of the video, and I'll put it in the pinned comments. Because it looks like there is a word count for these live comments. Okay. I just dropped it. Hi, Divine. Thank you. And feel inspired by me. Thank you for watching. Okay, I just dropped that in the chat for the check-in live. Again, it's not another workshop, it's not a training, it's just a curated space for women that you've been doing a lot. You've been watching these videos. You're in a space where you're ready to pause. I want to curate a space and give you the opportunity to do that. So those were the three observations that I've had. Of course, I've definitely had more observations, but those were the ones that I feel like were really reoccurring. The fact that people are looking for language for the things that they're experiencing, particularly around the way they work and live. For all my ladies out there, my ambitious, high achieving, capable, responsible women. Observation two, or a lot of women are just continuing to move through lives that don't really fit them anymore. And then observation number three is that people are just carrying a deep level of exhaustion that's not dramatic. You're still going to work, getting up, doing what you have to do, but that deep level of exhaustion is there. And I want you to know that all of that is awareness, like I just said, but awareness is only beginning. In order to feel the shift, in order to move through it, in order to, like I say, reset your relationship with ambition, like I said, because for me, it's not about throwing my ambition away. I feel like I'll always be an ambitious woman. I'll always have goals that I want to do, things I want to build, things I want to create. But I'm just no longer in a space where I'm willing to do that at the cost of my health and my wellness. Those days are over. My health and my wellness are my priorities. And that's how I move. I'm still ambitious. I'm just doing it with much more intention, much more alignment. And if that's something that you're ready for, I created the Ambition Reset. I'll put that in the description as well. It's my 7-day audio experience for women just like you who are ready to feel that internal shift, calling out those blind spots and giving you intentional steps and how to move forward to start to redesign your life in the way that you want to work and live. So these 100 days started as a personal development and a visibility challenge. And somewhere along the way, it became a conversation, many conversations, big conversations, conversations that resonated with many of you watching. And I just want to thank y'all for being a part of it. Like I said, if you've been here from day one, thank you. You found me somewhere in the middle, thank you. If you found me on that viral video, thank you. And if you're just finding me today, thank you for being here and watching today. Before I wrap up, I'm going to just see, does anyone have any questions or anything they want to ask me? Let me just check the chat right here. And oh, thank you, MZ5457. Thank you for being here and watching. I am going to, because y'all know, girl, I'm going to rest. So I think I'm going to take the rest, no pun intended, the rest of May off. I really want to just go through all the videos, see what conversations really resonated with you. I want to be able to really analyze that. So when I come back in June, I can have more conversations that go deeper than just awareness, that go into the shift, that go into more embodiment, meaning like how I'm actually living my life today, how I actually have helped a few other women in the beginning stages of redesigning their lives, how I can be able to support you more as a lifestyle strategist. Because again, awareness is good. Everything starts with awareness, but you have to have the shift. You have to start to put in the work to make the shift. And then after that shift, you get into that embodiment when that just means that's just who you are. So I want to talk to you more about that too, and just how I maintain all of this. Again, I'm still navigating a 9 to 5 that I hope to finish very soon. Not quit, but finish. If you don't know what I mean, go watch that video where I talk about that, the difference between quitting and finishing. So I'm still navigating a 9 to 5. I'm showing up here for 100 days on YouTube. I'm building a business. I'm doing a lot of things, but I still prioritize my health and wellness. I spent the morning on the beach. I asked you all how you were doing this morning. I feel really good. I spent the morning on the beach. I came back and had a Bible study with my women's group, and I did a little bit of work. So I am able to maintain this life. Now, again, it's not easy. It's not easy because choosing yourself every single day can be hard, but I take that every day over the corporate brain rot and just building a life that feels good to me, that is aligned with the way that I desire, that is allowing me to use my skills, my gifts, my talents that God has given me. I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful for the women that my lived experience and my work has resonated with. And I'm just thankful for your time because there's a lot of people out here with a lot of content, and I'm thankful for you being here today. So I don't know. I'll be back on June 1st for sure, but I'm not sure how my cadence will be after this. I'm not sure if I'm going to do twice a week or once a week. I'm not sure. I'll also do some lives like this, but I also want to have conversations that I can go deeper with and really talk like I want to talk off YouTube. So again, if you're interested in that, join me at the check, ladies. Join me at the check-in live. I'll put that link in the comments of the live, and then I'll also pin the comment later. It's going to be happening this Tuesday evening, and I'll continue to have more of those in the future if that's something that women like you want. But I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. Thank you for joining me on this 100-day journey, and I'll see you on June 1st. Bye.